Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna be reading you guys one of my short stories that I've written because I'm a writer and I thought that it would be interesting and fun to do on the channel. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm a little bit frustrated because this is actually the second time trying to make this video because the first time I tried to lean it up against something so that the camera wouldn't be wobbling for you guys, and I could set it up like right in front of this candle that's up here so that I could start make a nice ambience. But I have to hold on to the I have to hold on to my phone instead of propping it up because I have to continue to press it whenever the screen gets dark so that it doesn't end up turning off and the camera doesn't stop going. So, yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated about that because I read an entire story without realizing that the camera had turned off. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to start reading now. This story is called Journey of the Soul. While soaring through the stars, I see worlds upon worlds flying past me, and the shine of all the stars glitter all around me, surrounding me in the starlight. Surrounding me in the starlight, I see the cosmos perfectly and beautifully in alignment. There are galaxies stretching out as far as the eye can see. I stop and decide to just float for a second. I realize I don't feel cold at all, and I'm breathing perfectly fine. The universe flows around me and through me, and I feel complete and one with everything. I feel happier than I've ever felt. I look around and I look around some more and see nebulas and clouds of gas and everything you'd imagine to be in space and more. Suddenly, a giant serpent the size of 10 Earths in a row flies in front of me. I say hi and wave my hand with a big smile on my face. He offers me a ride and I accept. I get on his back and we continue the adventure together. He tells me to look to my right. I do and see a solar system with the sun forming into a supernova. It begins enveloping all the planets around it. I don't want to see that. That's too sad. The serpent then says, "It's sad, but if you want to see the most beautiful sight you'll ever see, you're going to want to keep watching." So I look and the supernova is rapidly expanding and destroying everything it touches, enveloping the solar system. Suddenly, it all begins imploding and sucking itself inward as flaring gas forms around a black hole. But I see stardust shoot out across the rest of the galaxy, and as I look all around me, I see light expanding outwards as new stars and planets form together from the remains of the old ones that died. The serpent then says to me, "From all death comes the spark of life renewed." I smile as words warm my soul. We continue our journey. We come across a planet glowing with the energy of life. I tell the serpent that I wish to stop, and he lets me off, and I wave goodbye. I start flying towards the planet. As I enter into the atmosphere, an flame forms around me. I see a forest as I approach the ground. I touch down, and a pillar of light shoots into the sky. I look around, and I'm standing surrounded by a grassy hill. I see flowers blooming all around me. They have a pleasant blue glow to them, and their pollen is spreading through the air. It's glowing too. I walk up the hill and I see a river, but it's not a regular river. It's floating in the air and the water is shining. I look on the ground and see giant mushrooms that would tower over me if I were to stand next to them. They are also glowing. I look up and see an aurora and a sky full of stars. The galaxies can be very clearly seen too. It's full of so many colors. There are four moons. One is in the middle, and it's huge, and the other three are revolving around it. I walk around the hill and see an ocean with black sand on its shore. The water has a green and blue aura floating above it. There are at least 20 sea serpents in view. They have lanterns like that of an anglerfish on their heads. Their fins in glowing bright blue. Their fins are glowing bright blue. They have a big they have big sharp teeth and white eyes. I laugh and run towards the ocean to go swimming. Towards the ocean to go swimming. I jump in and the water isn't cold at all. It's warm and feels amazing. It soothes my soul. I swim around for a bit, then decide to swim towards the sea serpents. I get on one's back suddenly as I feel suddenly I feel as though I am on an underwater roller coaster, dashing, twisting, turning through the water. The serpent jumps out of the water 50 feet into the sky. I joyfully scream as the wind rushes past me and through my hair. The serpent dives forward and back into the water, and my heart races with excitement. I keep hanging on until I feel a sense like I am not moving through the water anymore, but it's moving through me. When that happens, the serpent carries me back to shore, and then I decide to just let the waves carry me. The waves rise up, holding me on top as they throw me to the shore. But, but before I hit the sand, water rushes underneath me, catching me and gently carrying me back into the ocean. I lay there for hours, letting the same process repeat over and over and over again. I could lay there forever, but I decide to get up and explore more. I walk down the other side of the hill towards the giant mushrooms. The ground is so soft and the grass grass brushes my feet. The air just has a calm feeling to it. It's warm and pleasant. I walk below the floating river and realize that the water is falling down and watering the grass. I feel it dripping on my head. I keep walking and reach the mushrooms. See their spores floating through the air, flowing through one another like they're using them to communicate. I feel my ear tickle as a few fly into my ear. Images of this world begin flashing through my mind from its very beginning up until right now. I see the mushrooms when they were regular sized mushrooms. They're slowly growing as the rest of the world grows and forms around them. I awake from the vision, smile, and keep walking. As I'm walking, I see humanoid figures that look like blue walking mushrooms crawling down the sides of the bigger mushrooms and out of the ground. They have black eyes that have white pupils. They have 3 fingers. As I stare into one's eyes, it talks to me telepathically. It says, "Welcome, visitor. Enjoy our homeland." I'm going to take a drink of water real quick and then I'll continue reading. I continue my exploration and walk into a forest. The trees in the forest look normal, except they're black. They're pure black. I see many types of I see many types of animals while I'm walking. One is a deer with black fur with some green on it. It also has green eyes, horns, and hooves. Its antlers branch off, but then intertwine again. It's the most beautiful deer I've ever seen, and it also has wings. There are also squirrels with black fur, big claws, blue eyes, and blue antennas on their heads with a blue shine on top of them. They also don't have ears. I also see giant black moths with blue dots on their wings. The moths are also glowing. There's owls that have black feathers and eyes that are black. They are black with a blue iris. They stare into my soul and I stare into theirs. For a moment, it feels as though as though we become one creature. Its knowledge pours into me and mine into it. There are many other animals, giant bugs, giant spiders, porcupines, and birds. I walk out of the woods and come across a huge part of the land that only has some sort of stone that's pure white and dust blowing through the wind. There are no trees. There are giants made of white stone with walking around, yellow eyes walking around, and I see a winged creature as big as a skyscraper on top of a rocky hill sloping over the landscape. The creature and the hill block out the moonlight, but its eyes shine and illuminate the land instead. The creature has a flat face and pointed ears like a cat. It's covered in fur and it has a long puffy tail resting on the edge of the hill. It sits on the hill it sits on. Its fur is also black and its eyes are pure green. It has spikes coming out of its back of its back and it has no mouth or nose. It also sits like a cat. I walk up to it. As I'm walking, the stone men tell me to remember to show great respect. I hear I heed their words, and once I get close enough, the creature stretches its face down right in front of me. He stays quiet for a moment. I hold my hand up. He moves his head a little forward in order to touch his brow to my hand. I hear words in my head. They say, I am the guardian of this world. If you mean harm in this place, then turn back, for it will reject you. But if you are pure of heart, then there is nothing to worry about, and you will find peace here. I say, okay, I am ready, and a cave opens up at the bottom of the hill. The creature recedes his head backwards, and I walk into the cave. There are purple vines with light flashing through them, lining the walls, and moisture is gathering on the surface of the rocks. But the steps below me are very smooth. As I reach the bottom, I see a clearing stretching across about 200 meters. There are blue flames shooting out of some parts of the floor. There are carved pillars and natural pillars connecting to the ceiling and the floor. I see ghostly pulsating lights floating through the air. There's a huge pond in the center with giant crystals in it that are glowing. I walk towards the pond and decide to step in. As I do, I feel such a calm feeling wash over me, and suddenly colors begin flashing through my mind, and I feel as though I catch on fire from the inside. I felt an intense amount of energy flowing through me. It was like the universe came to me all at once in the form of energy, and all of my worries, my fears, and my pains washed away. I felt my I felt the spirit of the universe become one with my own spirit, and then got out of the water and walked back out of the cave. I see the creature, and again he stretches his head down to me and says, "Congratulations, my child, you have passed the test." Uh, then he picks me up and puts me on his back, and we fly around the world together. First, he takes me to a volcano with living lava. The lava is forming tentacles and sort of just floating around and gently waving through the air. But some of it is falling down the volcano's sides and circling around it. Then we fly to a huge storm cloud, and we fly through it. The cloud twists around us, and lightning is shooting through in a straight line all around us all around us going in a loop and spiraling through the circle of the clouds. I love this. I just love to feel the wind rushing past me like this. I feel so alive. Then I feel raindrops falling through the clouds and dripping on me. I'm smiling so what? Whoops. Hold just a second, guys. I accidentally scrolled down. Um, almost there. I'm gonna start here. I love this. I just love to feel the wind rushing past me. I like this past me. I like this. I feel so alive. Then I feel raindrops falling through the clouds and dripping on me. I'm smiling so widely. We dive out of the clouds and straight towards the ground. Then I feel my gut drop, and we dart back up a little and fly straight up again. We find a we find a giant mountain and spiral around it until we reach the top and see a giant orb like thing that looks like a miniature sun at the top. I feel so much warmth coming from it. This is the combination of the light and energy of this world coming together from all the animals and this world's life force. It's beautiful, I say. The creature gives a joyful laugh, and we descend once again back below the clouds. We see a bunch of water floating in the air, moving around, but it's not just any water. No matter which angle you look at it from, you can see the stars in the galaxy after staring for. You can see the stars in the galaxy. After staring for a little bit, we head back down to the ground. The creature flies off and I wave goodbye. I then decide that it's time to get going to see other worlds. I fly back up into space and fly through the stars again. I eventually come across a planet that appears to be infinitely breaking apart and forming back together. I feel the force of the explosion rushing past me and then pulling back in. The rocks in the core of the planet shoot outward and then pull back in as the earth reforms the trees and the life then repeats the process. I stare for a little bit, but then I take off upwards to observe all the galaxies and decide where I want to go next. I see a galaxy with every color you can think of inside of it, and light bursting from the center. It doesn't sound very smart, but I feel drawn to the center of the galaxy, so I decide to fly down and look at the black hole up close. I get there, but what I see is not a black hole, not even a star, but just pure light not seemingly coming from anywhere. I fly through and see an entire world before my eyes, forests, plains, oceans, and animals everywhere. I touch down on the surface and realize that the planet's colors are much more vibrant and shiny than any other planets. I then see people and animals there, the type of animals that you'd expect to see: rabbits, bears, deer, birds, and squirrels, but they're made of pure light, as are the people, and they all live in harmony with one another. One of the people waved to me, and I wave back and start walking through the plains that I landed in. I feel the grass brushing past my legs. The warm wind blows past me, and it and the light warms my face. Everything is bright and full of life. I feel like I am home. I see a sun in the sky, but it's very close and very small, but big enough to provide warmth. There are other creatures that look like suns, the size of a human head floating around. I see roses that have a shine to them. A deer walks up to me and I pet him. He then starts walking ahead of me like he's leading me somewhere. We walk over hills and through the grassy plains, and eventually we come across a forest. As he stands in front of the forest, he disappears. I walk into the forest, and the first thing I see are trees that are connected in a sort that are connected in a net sort of shape. Water flows from one tree to the tree. Flows from tree to tree from where they're webbed together. The water is shining just like everything else. I hear a waterfall in the distance and I walk forward. Crunch under Twigs crunch underneath my feet with each step. As I move forward, the waterfall sounds closer. I keep walking. The mist from the nearby waterfall floats through the air and gently lands on my skin. I feel leaves falling from the trees and landing on my head. I look around and see seeds floating down into more clear areas from the trees, and the moment they touch the ground, the whole tree grows and sprouts up all at once. I emerge from the trees and see a huge lake with a waterfall on the other side of it. I jump in and start swimming towards the waterfall. The water is warm and calming. I get to the waterfall pretty fast. I swim through it and find a cave. There are torches on the cave wall. I get out of the water and walk through the cave. I get to a huge open part of the cave, and there are big crystals along the sides of the walls. There's a yin yang symbol in the middle of the floor and a stream of water going in a circle around it. There's another stream of water along the walls above the crystals. Water drops from the stream and drips down onto the crystals, and as it does, many different colors splash through the crystals. I see I see a ladder made of crystals across from where I'm standing and decide to walk over and start climbing up it. I see light coming from the top. I keep climbing and suddenly the ladder melts and then turns into sparkling light that carry me to the top, and the cave walls appear to rush past me. I reach the top, and now I'm standing on top of the waterfall, looking over the lake and the forest. I can see everything from up here. I smile brightly. Then I decide to fly back up into space. I keep flying, and the sight of planets and stars flying past me never ceases to excite me. I stop, then I see a huge thing that looks like an eye made of energy. Its outer part is purple, then as it goes deeper in, it turns blue, but the middle is pitch black. The colorful energy flows outward, but also somehow inward at the same time. Words pop into my head. Hello, my child. Who are you? I ask. I am that which lies at the end and the beginning of creation and time itself. Are you God? That's up to you to decide. Why hasn't anyone else been able to find you? Because the only ones who can find me outside are the ones who have found me within themselves. With those words, a smile creeps across my face and my heart fills with joy. All right, that's about it. Um, that's probably one of my favorite stories I've written. So, have a beautiful night, everybody. Blessed be. See you later.